Bear was one of my oldest and best friends, and it's hard to accept that he has departed long before his time should have come. My heart goes out to Maria, Christina, Jean, Christopher, and Joey for your great loss, which reflects how much he gave to you, and for that we must be thankful. We all know Bear was a big man, both in size and in strength, but his physical size was minimal compared to his enthusiasm and his love of people. He had people scattered around the planet who all considered him one of their best friends, and I am very grateful to have been one of them. He lives a big hole in my life, but I will keep him alive, and he will continue to enrich my life with all the memories he has given me. I first met Bear when I was teaching an optical mineralogy lab at UBC. What struck me most about him, other than his size of course, were all the questions he asked, challenging me to explain the details of optical theory, and he pushed me to the edge of my ability to do so. He maintained this curiosity and enthusiasm for learning throughout his graduate studies, although they didn't always lead him in a straight line to the most rapid completion of projects, like his master's thesis. However, his enthusiasm was infectious, and along with his songs that frequently reverberated in the halls, was a major contributor to the fantastic experience of being a graduate student at UBC at that time. We shared a love for thermodynamics, and many beverages were consumed pondering applications of the phase rule, the Gibbs-Duhem theorem, and other essential staples of the discipline. Another somewhat less esoteric interest we shared at UBC was playing bridge. We were particularly avid about it after lunch in the geology lounge, and many, in fact all too many afternoons were passed there, which no doubt had our advisors wondering if we would ever finish our theses. We did eventually, with him completing a very nice experimental and theoretical study on the stability of cordierite. He moved on to Princeton for his PhD work, and then down under where his career really took off and flourished, as I believe we will hear more about today. Another memory of UBC days that I'll never forget was playing our first hockey game in intramurals. I was very green, as it hadn't been long since I had graduated from not relying on the boards for balance. It was clear in the warm-ups that a lot of the interest on the other side of the ice was not in shooting or handling the puck, but in looking for opportunities to throw bone-crunching body checks. You could see a few of the opposing team pointing to Bear as if he was Mount Everest, and the chatter amongst them seemed to be who was going to be the first to rise to the challenge. Sure enough, the game was not more than a couple of minutes old before someone took a run at Bear, but when he crumbled like a matchstick, with Bear barely batting an eye, our confidence soared as we knew they weren't going to be running any of the rest of us into the boards that night. One of the reasons I'm fond of this memory is that it reminds me that having Bear as a friend was a lot like having him on the ice that night. Life was much more comfortable knowing that one day soon the phone was going to ring and there would be that baritone voice saying, "Hey mate, how's it going?" One of Bear's passions was not only playing but also coaching hockey. I don't know for sure what he was like down under, but I strongly suspect from the success his teams had that he was an awesome coach. He not only had an eye for where improvements could be made, but he also had a knack for delivering the message in a way that was really hard not to accept. In my case, he would often say, "You know, for a Yankee, you're a really awesome skater." And he said it with such enthusiasm that I actually almost believed him. But then, perhaps just a little bit too quickly, he would always add, "But there's no telling how fast you would be if you had just learned not to drag your toe on the ice all the time." The other memory of Bear that will never fade is ever present in our house. It may sound strange, but I cannot look at the bathtub without thinking of him. The tub is an antique cast iron tub with these strange feet shaped like claws. Bear and Maria had just arrived for a visit when we were renovating and pondering how many people we would have to hire to move the tub up to the third floor where we were putting in a new bathroom. For those unfamiliar with a tub like this, it is every bit of 300 pounds, and I could not budget an inch on my own. Well, as we all know, Bear was not one to turn away from a challenge. Quite the opposite. So within a few minutes, I found myself on the bottom end of the tub as Bear grabbed hold of it and started to drag it upstairs. After negotiating the 180-degree bend in the stairs, which had a window at the corner, Bear stopped at the top step with the tub below and started to hyperventilate, deeply and quite frighteningly. He did this for what seemed like every bit of a full minute, because I know I had time to look behind me, see the window, review the laws of gravity, and ponder what an ungraceful demise I would have should Bear's progress up the stairs be suddenly reversed. But as the story is being told, Bear clearly did not fail that day, and I think it was true of just about all his endeavors. He did not fail. You could count on him, always. Now the tub has a little plaque on it saying simply, Bear's Tub, Derry McPhail. In many ways, this memory encapsulates my thoughts of him. Just as I looked up the stairs at him, totally dependent on his strength to survive, I looked up to him in many other ways, too. I was in awe of his unflagging enthusiasm, of his spectrum of talents from the science arena to music to sports, and I had enormous respect for his great love and commitment to his family and his friends. He was a magnificent person and a great friend, and I am going to miss him dearly. Even so, he will continue to enrich my life through the many memories he has given me and my family. May he rest in peace.